Welcome to week 4 of Overbot League Season 3 here. Gonna start off with my squad taking on AI, so the only uncoached team in the league going up against my squad. My team has been seeing actually quite a bit of success this season. On the other side, AI have been struggling quite a bit. They don't have a coach, so expected. They did win last season, though, without a coach. So, not entirely out of it quite yet. I think they're going to be out of it pretty soon, though. Yeah, without further ado, let's get this thing started. Here we go. New Queen Street. Gonna be up first here. So, the bots for both these teams have remained consistent all throughout this season. Blazing Magi, my squad, always sticking to the tank bot. The support bot from AI, the only support bot in Overbot's league, has remained very consistent throughout this season. Oh my word. What the heck is wrong with me? Okay. Still feeling a little bit under the weather here, guys. Something hit me and just has not let up. Anyways. Looks like we're going to be seeing the Mauga versus Zen. So, Zen, a very big pickup here for AI. Might be a huge boon to them. Mauga on the other side, not quite as great as he was in Season 1. As we have noticed from Season 2 and 3, he has been on struggling in squads ever since that first season. See how he does here today, though. For Blazing Magi. Alright. Gonna be engaged. Zen immediately going down to Tracer here. Good start for Blazing Magi. They're also going to take out Doom and Rom. And so far, AI just getting cut through by this triple DPS roster of Blazing Magi. I really built my roster this season purely on the basis of damage is the winner. That is what we have seen from last season in Overbot's Season 2. There were very tanky rosters and very damage-fronted rosters, and those were the ones that went far. Cassie's going to take out 2 here. Mauga able to take out that soldier, and Blazing Magi just going to continue pushing through. Quite a dominant performance here on New Queen Street. Going to swap to Mercy. I don't think that's going to be a huge pickup for AI. So it might just be curtains here. But they will have that damage boosted soldier now. Doom getting a little bit early here. Mercy's going to be the first to fall to Cass. Doom goes down to the Mauga. Blazing Magi just going to continue pushing through AI. Doesn't even look like it's difficult for them actually here. They are doing quite well. Tracer, a massive pickup for my squad. I do think she has been working out a lot better for us than that Ashe. Blazing Magi just continuing to coast through AI. Oh my gosh, my nose. I'm apologizing right now. Okay. Looks like AI is going to be able to... Oh, well, maybe not. Mauga and Tracer's still alive on this thing. They continue pushing. Looked like AI for sure we're going to win that one. But through heroics of Tracer and Mauga, they are able to continue pushing this thing a little bit farther, and they're still up here on this point. So you have to think eventually they're going to go... Soldier might die here. He does. Here comes the Cassidy High Noon. Don't know what he's doing there. Mauga's going to take out 2. Oh my word. AI just getting absolutely curb stomped by Blazing Magi right now. And I am starting to feel very good. I am starting to feel very good about my squad. As we continue pushing this dang thing, I think we're going to finish this map. Map completion on New Queen Street for Blazing Magi. Very possible here as we get ever closer. The kills just keep going our way. And that is just going to be it. So Blazing Magi off to a dominant week 4 start here. Gonna go up 1-0 before it even gets half, like down 5 minutes. So wow, blistering fast New Queen Street for Blazing Magi. And we're gonna head into map 2 here. So it is looking like a good time to be me, the commentator of Overbots. My squad looking fresh. And we're going to go to Gibraltar next here. Week 4. Match 1. Overbot Season 3 of Week 4. Yeah, yep. So far, Blazing Magi firmly in the lead with that 1-0. Didn't even look close on New Queen Street. We will see if they can continue their dominance here on Gibraltar. They are looking like one of the top dogs in this league finally. And we're going to get Roadhog. That is probably just going to extend the gap, to be honest. I think Roadhog is better than Mauga. Although Mauga did look very fresh with us there. Proof that sometimes Mauga's just not on good squads. I think if he is on a good squad, he looks good. But if he doesn't have a good team behind him, he can look pretty awful. Alright, here we go. So map 2, Blazing Magi lead this one. Up 1-0. Roadhog gonna drop down from the high ground. Brig gonna fall to the Roadhog. Cassie gonna take out Soldier. Doom gonna take out Kiri. And Torb gonna take out Doom. Tracer gonna take out the Sigma. Rom, about half HP, he is gonna fall. And Blazing Magi just gonna start pushing this thing. Boom, 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 boom. AI gonna really have to start putting something together here if they want to win any of these fights. Blazing Magi just look like all around the better team. With our Cassidy, Torbjorn. Two of what I believe to be top DPS in this league. Brig getting very low. Kiri's going to drop here. Cassie going to take out Brig. Soldier able to remove the Roadhog. Okay. So looking like AI is actually holding up a little bit here on this underpass. Kind of hard to push through for most squads. Tracer's struggling a little bit to get her shots in. Her and Soldier probably going to fight up here. Let's see if she can. She will lose that. Soldier, very strong DPS in his own right. They do have that BAP now, and BAP is a terrifying prospect to face up against. Cassidy going to fall in the back line. So this is looking like a good start of something here for AI. Does Kiri... No, Kiri is going to lose that. Doom did get that health pack. Torbjorn not quite backing off. He's probably going to pay with his life here. He will. Soldier able to finish him off. And the turret. Oh, turret actually is able to get him in a trade. However, Soldier should be back in no time. And this is a good start here for AI on Gibraltar if they want to get back into this series. Blazing Magi struggling a little bit here on Gibraltar. Some teams can definitely struggle to get past this underpass. BAP getting a little bit aggressive there, is going to lose his life for it. Doom's going to go down next here to this Cassidy ult. And now I think Blazing Magi are really going to start to push through here. As Ramattra does fall to the Tracer, Blazing Magi will be able to probably cap this first point. We'll see if they try to contest again here. Doesn't look like it. Oh my gosh. Okay. A lot of ults coming out from Blazing Magi. Might be a little bit of an over-investment here, especially when they lose one. However, finding trades here. Blazing Magi coming out on top of those trades, so they will eventually win that fight and continue pushing this thing forward. See where this next fight happens here. AI got to regroup here and spawn. Looking for a glimpse into this series. Gibraltar so far looks pretty close. AI's had a couple good holds against Blazing Magi. Comes the Doomfist. Gonna slam into the backline here. Torb able to remove the soldier from the fight though. Here comes the Rommel. This could be a massive turning point for this fight, as it does swing this fully in AI's favor here. So, AI able to win another fight here on Gibraltar. The second point. We know AI is in one of their strongest formations whenever they get this Bat bot. It has been a great boon for them when they get that Soldier and Baptiste going with these three tanks in front of them. It can be hard to stop. One of their best looks that this team has. So Blaze Magi have their work cut out for them here against this squad. See, Soldier's getting a little bit aggressive here. That does get the Torb, however, Sigma's going to fall. And it's a Pulse Bomb. It does get the Ramatra, and Doom will go down eventually too, and that is just going to be it. So Blazing Magi going to force out two ultimates from the other side for only their Pulse Bomb and win that one. Sigma not getting too much with his ult there. Is one of his only real uses in Overbots. He is a very poorly designed bot. Does not even use his accretion. Only uses the kinetic grasp and the shield. Hardly ever uses his left click. Looks like Blazing Magi are just going to win this one again, as there was some over-aggression there. Kiri going to go down, but that's not going to be enough. Blazing Magi will eventually push this into this second checkpoint. They're going to keep on moving forward here. Sigma going back into that spawn. However, that is not his spawn room anymore, and Tracer takes a dive off the map. He's going for a little swim, I suppose. Torbjorn, as we know, one of the strongest bots in Overbots League. He is actually undefeated. He has been on both winning rosters. Overbots Season 1, he was on that Mauga, Torb, Zen team. Actually a brutal team to watch. They brutalized the rest of the league. In the second season, he was on that May, Lucio, who else did they have? I'm forgetting at the moment, guys, I'm sorry. We did have the 4-person rosters at that point. Am I forgetting what their last player was? It was May, Lucio, Torb. I'm gonna go look at the championship rosters. Sorry, everyone. Oh yeah, Bastion was on that roster too. That was crazy stacked. So both the first and second year, extremely stacked rosters. This year, Torb finds himself on a little bit less of a stacked roster. I wasn't able to draft a Bastion second round somehow, like that other team got. I still don't understand how that happened. But I did pick up the Cass. I think Cass is a very good DPS in his own right. And that Tracer pickup that we got, I think, has been working wonders for us. Kiri has been alright all season. I don't know if she's the greatest hero. Now she's putting up some good healing numbers. At 3, 2, 3, 3. And some decent damage numbers as well, so. We'll see here. Can Blazing Magi lead this thing off 2-0? Have to see if AI can push through here. They're going to come out on the Kiri mirror here. Blazing Magi going to remove their Kiri. However, our Kiri is going to go down as well. Cassidy going to be the next to fall, and AI is actually pushing through quite well here. On this first point, Soldier doing a good job. Slowly whittling down Blazing Magi. All 3 tanks still standing. Good job there by AI. See if they continue to push through Blazing Magi here. Last week I did go up against the other triple tank roster in this league, and I beat them 3-2. And that roster, I think, is significantly stronger than this one. So I believe we should take this one like 3-0. I'm hoping anyways. Blazing Magi going to need to do a lot of work to keep themselves in playoff contention. I'm looking for my first ever playoffs finish for Blazing Magi. We have not been close yet. Unfortunately, every season I have been one of, if not the worst teams. However, this year, my team seems a lot better than usual. I was able to get some very good draft picks. Kiri gonna fall here. Torb gonna go down to Doom. Cassidy able to take out Doom. However, Sigma able to remove the Kiri. Soldier able to get Cass. There's only a Hog and Tracer on this point. Soldier investing that ult into the Hog. Looks like Ramatra and Soldier will eventually deal with these two. So, AI continuing to push here. Steady push going on. There is going to be some ultimates on both sides here. We can have that Ramatra ult versus almost every ult on Blazing Magi except for the Kiri. See if we can grab a touch here with this Roadhog. Roadhog will grab the touch. The Cassidy going to force everything out with his High Noon. Not exactly seeing anything right now, but he's just doing it to force him back. Get some better positioning for his team. Doomfist going to come in very deep. Ramatra already very low, popping that ult. That was a bit of a waste. Roadhog able to take out Soldier 2, and that is just going to be that fight. So Blazing Magi hold just at the end of this first point here. However, AI is going to have a couple more opportunities, especially with this Lucio. Could be a nice boon for them. Roadhog holding onto the whole hog. Torbjorn does have that Molten Core. He will be able to spread the lava everywhere. Gosh dang it. My nose is killing me, guys. Okay, here comes AI. Meteor Strike, not going to find too much there. Kiri ult is very small, however, they're getting value with it. Torb able to remove the Lucy. Yeah, that's a very clean fight win for Blazing Magi. They did use a lot of ultimates, though. So with only 40 seconds left, it's more than likely this is where this will end here. Blazing Magi going to go up in this series 2-0. And they're just going to look for one more map victory to secure this series against a vastly inferior team, it seems. And that will just be it. So 2-0 lead here for Blazing Magi. And we'll see what map 3 brings here. going to Junkertown here. So once again, Blazing Magi going to be on the offense first. This map could go a little bit longer. Back-to-back escorts here in this series. AI showed a few signs of life there on Gibraltar. However, they had a lot of trouble on their offense. Blazing Magi, on the other hand, they did get held up a little bit on that first point. It was a little bit on the second point. However, for the most part, they got the work done. They did finish with over a minute on the clock on Gibraltar. So we'll see if Junkertown is any different here. Going to be running that Kiri again. We saw a little bit on Gibraltar. For Blazing Magi, however, they do have the Sigma, so that is going to be a little bit of a disadvantage to them, as last two maps they did have a much better tank. They had that Malga and the Roadhog. So we are going to see Kiri and Sigma mirrored in this one. My dang nose is killing me. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So far, AI doing a great job. Just isolating targets, finishing them off here. Great start here for AI. They are able to maintain this spawn hold, and they lose no members in that fight. Excellent hold here. I think it's going to come down a lot to the Sigma pick. Just not being quite a great pick here for AI. Most tanks you can rely on, but something like Sigma is a little bit inferior. Sigma just gets absolutely shredded coming out of spawn. Seems like a great spawn hold here for AI so far. Blazing Magi really struggling to get out of the spawn doors here on Junkertown. As when they come out, they just go straight into a blender. As you can see, Tracer immediately going down. Torb immediately following after. Kiri able to win that 1v1 against Soldier. Could be crucial here in this upcoming fight. Kiri's still up. Everyone on Blazing Magi is still up. And they are looking for kills here. Sigma distracting this Doom a little bit. However, Cassidy's getting very low on the outside. Ramatra able to get traded for this Kiri. The other Kiri is going to fall. Sigma getting very low here on the cart. He will fall. Eventually, Doom will too. And Blazing Magi going to start pushing this thing finally. So, very good hold coming out from AI, though. That was 2 minutes off the clock, just in that spawn alone. See if they can continue the success. Blazing Magi rolling into that Sigma pick. Obviously going to help you more than hinder you. Some other tanks Blazing Magi could have gotten are a lot better. Sigma is about a bottom tier tank in Overbots. Almost a hindrance to some teams if he's on them. Actually, well, you could have a better option. Oh, the Sigma actually does remove the Kiri there, so both Kiri's going to get traded out. Ramatra does have that ult, though. Is going to eventually lose its duration. 3 alive on cart here for AI. 3 on the other side as well, however. Less tanky bodies. Torb is back, though. Pulse Bomb not going to find much. Don't know where the lava quite went. Okay, the lava got a little bit of value, but not quite enough. Blazing Magi actually struggling quite a bit here on this Junkertown. Doomfist going to go down to the Sigma. Torb eventually going to take out the other Sigma. However, Soldier able to remove Torbjorn. And that's just going to be it. So, Sigma going to go down. And Tracer. Excellent fight win here for AI. They are doing a great job on Junkertown in comparison to how the rest of this match has gone. Only 40 seconds on the clock here for Blazing Magi, and it's looking like you might get full held here on Junkertown against AI. Sigma able to deal with Rom. However, Cassidy already dealt with. And that is just going to be it. So, wow. Great hold from AI. What an excellent hold coming out from AI. I do think it has a little bit to do with that Sigma pick. Didn't exactly help Blazing Magi here. Cassidy going to try to get a little bit of extra progress. Can Torb get in here too? Torb is going to touch too. Interesting stuff going on here, but not quite going to be enough here for Blazing Magi, I don't believe. So not going to find much more touches, and that will just be where the payload ends. So AI, they do not have to move the cart very far at all. Nope, they do not. So Blazing Magi, on the other hand, if they want to 3-0 this one, they're going to have to put on quite a performance here on Junkertown. See if they're stuck on that Sigma still. That could be a big tell as to what's going to happen here on defense. Or Blazing Magi are going to have one heck of a defense to win this one. Because AI really put their best foot forward there on first point defense. Not showing too many signs of struggle at all at handling this roster despite every other map. Yeah, so Sigma coming out again. This is probably just curtains for this Junkertown. Unless they do an even better blender than what was set up for them on spawn. We'll see how quickly they can evaporate targets coming out of the spawn door. So going to have to hold for a full 4 minutes. Cannot let them get past this building. Going to be a tough ask here. Kiri almost going down immediately. On the other side, Kiri will go down, so both Kiri's going to fall here. And it looks like AI just going to push through this one. So great job by AI here. They are going to pick up a map in this series and send us to a map for... Unfortunately, Blazing Magi just not quite able to get anything started here. The Sigma pick was quite atrocious, if I do say so myself. And I think they're just going to push it in. I don't even know if we're going to touch here. Well, maybe they have the speed. So it looks like Sigma will... Oh, Tracer might get it. Tracer does get the touch here. Just barely. However, Sigma going down. Kiri going to get traded here. Cassidy very low though. Kiri's going to go down. And that is a great map here for AI. So they do pick up one map in this series. And we will be headed to a map 4 here. If Blazing Magi gets stuck with this Sigma for a good duration, I could throw them the match quite atrociously. However, at times Sigma, not exactly useless, but not a great tank by any means for what you could have. So, let us see how map 4 goes. Going to Dorado, another freaking escort. Oh my gosh, can we stop with the escort? Like, actually? Okay. It worked out a little bit better because that last map was pretty quick. So, Blaze Magi get completely shut down on Junkertown. Very different vibe than Gibraltar and New Queen Street. We'll see if they can get the job done here on Dorado, or if they will lock the Sigma again. I think locking... Okay, sorry, is fine. Locking anything else but the Sigma, man. Sorry is a little bit of a broken tank, though. She's kind of a bad thing to have at times, because she doesn't pop that ultimate, as we know. At least we have not seen it yet. Maybe eventually it will be fixed. And we'll be surprised and see a Grav come out. But I have yet to see Zarya pop Grav in all of Season 1 and 2 of Overbots, as well as 3. So, Anyways, let's see if Blazing Magi can get out of the spawn trap a little bit faster than the last one. Junkertown was quite awful to watch. Bap going to go down immediately. An excellent start here for Blazing Magi. Some trades gonna start to favor Blazing Magi here, as it is a 3v2 on cart. And eventually Blazing Magi will push through that. So the push does begin here. Very little spawn trap this time around. See if Blazing Magi can get through this choke before being recontested here. Doomfist going quite fast and aggressive. He might be able to get a touch before they even get through this choke, which could be brutal here. Looks like he will. Soldier getting very low, however, Bap going to be able to keep him alive. Kiri's going to be the first to fall on this one. And that looks good for AI so far. However, Torb able to remove the Bap. Doom able to take out both DPS there. And Torb the last one alive, but I think he is going to back off. Yeah, I don't really expect him to take that fight. So, Blazing Magi once again stuck at another choke here on a stupid push map. Or escort, I mean. Not push. Torb getting very aggressive here. He's going to fall for his transgressions. I don't know why he went so deep by himself, but he did. Cassidy able to remove his opposing number in that soldier. However, Ram able to finish the job there. Looks like Blazing Magi are going to get held up a little bit here on Gibraltar as well. So, man, these really choky maps are so hard to push through with this roster of Blazing Magi. So we see them struggle with this AI squad. The AI really looking to tie this thing up at two apiece. Not what I want to see as Blazing Magi's coach. We should be able to handily beat a roster of this caliber, my opinion. However, Doom and Brig just completely dealing with everything right now. That choke has been aggressively painful to get through. Doomfist going to fall here, though. So a little bit of an overextension by AI. However, Kiri going in way too deep. She will right there wrong for them. And it looks like AI are just going to hold on to this, man. So a minute on the clock, and Blazing Magi are just getting choked out on these last two escorts. Two picks coming out for Blazing Magi. 2-1. So this should, for all intents and purposes, completely favor Blazing Magi here. It's looking like they are going to clean up these last kills here. So Blazing Magi are eventually going to push through this choke. I think. They're not even pushing the payload. Okay, they are pushing it now. Does AI get back for one more contest here? That is the question. It looks like they should. Torb getting very aggressive here. Doom looking for this touch. See if he can get it. I think he will. He is going quite quickly. The High Noon going to back him off, and they will take the point. So, zoning ultimate from the Cassidy going to keep Dorado alive for Blazing Magi here, as it has been looking desperate so far for this team. Comes the Ramatra ult immediately. This is going to lead to a very big spawn camp opportunity here. Although 2 picks coming out from Kiri. So right now they're even at 3 apiece. Sigma getting kind of chunked here. However, Kiri's going to go down to the soldier. Ram getting pretty... Going to get that bubble. Cassidy able to deal with Ram. Is going to be dealt with by the soldier and the Sigma shield. But I think eventually this is going to result in a Blazing Magi victory. So they should continue pushing this thing forward. Tracer able to remove Sigma. And with that Zarya tank, we are now able to use Torbjorn's ultimate because Tracer has her ultimate and it prioritized that combo. So now instead of losing Molten Core, we just lose Pulse Bomb. Pulse Bomb is very impactful sometimes, but most of the time it is a whiff. So, not exactly the worst ult to lose. I think Torb's ult provides a little bit more value in the bot league. And AI, once again, able to deal with this Blazing Magi roster. Soldier has just been so good for his team. He will eventually get taken out by Torb, but he has been an absolute menace. If you look at the damage, he is lapping almost everyone in this lobby, as well as limbs. Soldier has been a very impactful DPS. Wasn't used at all in Season 1 over bots, which is astounding to me, because I believe he's better than Symmetra, the character that was being played over him. Anyways, sorry, able to remove Brig here. Ramatra gets very low, however, somehow not falling. Cassidy able to remove that Sigma. Ramatra will eventually fall. Blazing Magi gonna continue pushing here, so just eking out these fight wins. Last second, each time on Dorado here. Kiri versus Brig. Looks like Brig will back off a little bit. Cassidy does have this ult again. See if he zones him off again with it. There will be a touch here, I think. He will once again pop this ult, but unfortunately he's not going to pop it long enough to zone them out, so Doom getting half on point. Soldier's very low in the back line. However, Torb's going to be the first to fall here, other than Brig. And that looks like Blazing Magi are just going to barely overcome this fight and push this thing into the final. Oh, unless they C9. They could very easily C9. Oh my word, they almost C9'd. Okay. They do push it in though. So Blazing Magi just barely eking by on each of these points. Looked a little bit like this was going to go the way of Junkertown. However, now it looks more like Gibraltar. Blazing Magi trying to secure a 3-1 here. Brig going to be very low here on the outside looking in. She will fall. Comes the Ramatra ult. Gonna pick up the Kiri. Sorry, able to remove Doom from play. Sigma gonna get Cass. Sigma will eventually go down to the Torb turret. Comes the Lava. I don't think they really need this right now. It's a little bit of a waste. He doesn't even use it, actually. He just kind of popped it and then sat there with it. That was kind of an odd use from Torb. I think Ramatra is eventually just going to fall here, though. He is getting very aggressive for being all alone. Although he does get that health pack, so maybe he's fine. He might actually live here. Looks like Ramatra will live here, so... Wow, interesting. AI actually able to turn that fight on its head there a little bit. And it looks like this is where the payload will stop here for Blazing Magi. Now they know what they have to do on defense to keep, or to secure a 3-1. On the other side, AI, that's all you have to do to get back into the series and be tied 2 apiece, headed into a map 5, forcing Blazing Magi into a map 5 after they just took Logi Swords all the way and beat them would be a huge boon for this AI squad. I believe this is the inferior triple tank roster, so Blazing Magi struggling with them is a bit odd, especially after how they were able to, like I say, they were able to overcome Logi Swords in their last match against one another. However, Logi Swords are going to be up against a really tough opponent this week, I believe. In their outside division match, I believe they do play Rush Hour, actually, right? Let me go look at the schedule, actually. That's going to be one to watch. I think that is up next. No, that's 2 matches away. But yeah. Yeah, Logi Swords are going to be facing Rush Hour. This could be a prelude to the grand finale of the league. We'll have to see, though. All right. Here come AI. They know what they have to do to tie this thing up to a piece. Blazing Magi, on the other hand, just going to have to hold enough. Great fight start for AI here. They are going to push through Blazing Magi quite easily on this escort. Only the third escort in this series. Shake my head, my head. We'll see if Blazing Magi can get any defense started here. Still on this Zarya pick. Not the biggest fan of Zarya, however, she is serviceable. Brig going to be the first to fall. Cassidy getting very low here. He probably will go down. Kiri's going to actually fall for him, and then he will go down. But Doom's going to fall too. Soldier on the outside looking in has been doing a lot of damage here. Will help clean up a lot of the members of Blazing Magi, and AI is just going to continue pushing this thing slowly but surely. So, Blazing Magi are going to come in for another fight here, right after they take this first checkpoint. However, so far, AI just looked so dominant on these last two maps. In comparison to the first two. Cassidy able to deal with Brig. And this looks like AI is going to go tie this thing at 2 apiece. Especially with this Zarya pick. I don't know, man. Doesn't seem to be changing the momentum of this Dorado. Alright, Doomfist. Going to be able to remove that Cassidy. Sigma going to go down in retaliation. However, the Doom ult is going to be able to find Kiri and get the Tracer very low. She's going to fall too. And that's just going to be it. So, excellent ult from the Doomfist. Very rare sight of that ult actually getting any value here. Going to swap out for Mercy at this last second. Don't know about that one. Torb going to force out the Ramatra ult by himself and the Soldier 76 one. So both those ults not going to be in play here. This last thing, although Soldier's ult, he's already a AI, he has aimbot. Gonna res this Doom. Actually getting the res off there. Mercy gonna fall to Kiri. Some touches coming through here, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Tracer not quite on the payload. Does she get back out here? So eventually, AI is going to push through here, and it is looking more and more likely that this thing is going to be tied up 2-2 going into a map 5, and I don't want to see the 4th escort in this series, man. These things have been awful for us. 4 minutes on the clock. Blaze Magi opting to hold outside. Doom gonna fall here. Mercy gonna go down. Kiri will fall to Soldier. Soldier able to take out 2 here. Cassidy getting the Sigma very low. So Blazing Magi able to clean that fight up relatively cleanly. However, the spawn advantage heavily in AI's favor here. So Torb not going to be back in time for this next one. This looks like it could just, well, okay. AI's going a long way around, so this could help out Blazing Magi's spawn. So there will be a full fight for both teams here. Mercy going to be the first to fall in this fight. Torp turret does go down. Doom gonna fall, Rom gonna fall, Soldier gonna fall. Blazing Magi looking to hold here just outside this third point. Mercy going for the res, she will not get it. And very clean team fight victory there. So after that, 2 minutes knocked off the clock, but if they do win one fight, it's going to be very difficult to get back and contest this thing. Just doing their best with this current spawn hold Blazing Magi have. They could secure this series 3-1. If this continues, Doomfist's going to go down. 2 minutes on the clock here. Cassidy getting very aggressive, but he will back off eventually. Not going to see the Pulse Bomb or the Graviton Surge. I don't think they're a huge deal. Obviously, Grav is very impactful in normal circumstances, but since Overbots, they don't use it. Not quite a great ultimate to have on your side since it's just not there, basically. Looks like eventually AI will push through, and now Blazing Magi are very much on the back foot because I don't see a world in which they hold on this corner. So that's probably just going to be a 2-2 series headed into a map 5. So Blazing Magi gonna have to fight for the right to be in the playoffs here against a not even contending team at the moment. This team is not very good. So comes the Ramatra roll. This thing is going to be huge. Mercy does fall, but man, it's just Ramatra roll, man. This thing clears everything. Ramatra roll is so powerful, and that will just be it. So a 2-2 series headed into a map 5. I'm hoping and praying for no Escort, because Escort is making me angry right now with how AI has been beating us very handily on these Escort maps, other than Gibraltar. See if Blazing Magi can get anything started on this last map. Stop this stupid reverse sweep from happening. Or if they're just going to crumble here. Not exactly great tank picks coming out from my team. Coliseo, I like our odds on this one a lot better. Alright, here we go. AI and Blazing Magi. Map 5 here as AI have brought this thing back. 3 back-to-back escorts and 2 push maps is what this series is. Push to start it and a push to end it here. Blazing Magi did win that first push map. They won on Gibraltar, and then AI turned it around, had a very dominant defense on Junkertown, won that map. Had a pretty good defense on Dorado, and then were able to complete where Blazing Magi left off. And this time, however, Blazing Magi do roll into the Orisa. Their odds for winning this thing just went up significantly. And I think this is where we're going to stomp them out. I believe this is where Blazing Magi will stomp out AI. Finally, get them off our back. And the series has been almost exclusively decided by what Blazing Magi's tank has decided to be. It almost feels like, as every time we have had a subpar tank, it has resulted in us getting curb stomped a little bit, and every time we've had a goated tank, we curb stomp them. So it's very much dependent on this Blazing Magi bot. We'll see if the Orisa can continue that trend for us, like the Roadhog and the Mauga. Kiri getting very low though, so she's going to be the first to fall. Not a great start for Blazing Magi here. Moira going to be traded out. Soldier just doing so much work though, man. Even despite having Orisa, Soldier just an absolute warlord of a unit. AI might be able to complete the reverse sweep here, and I would be very frustrated. Especially because of how dominant those first 2 maps went for us. Alright. Soldier, one of the best DPSs we have in this league. I would put him above Cassidy. Don't know about Torb. He does have a lot of tanks. His whole team basically just supports him. That's what AI is. Okay, Soldier going to go down here. That's going to be a fight win for Blazing Magi. Kiri getting a little bit overzealous on low HP, running straight into the ROM. Not exactly the greatest idea there, but Blazing Magi should eventually clean this thing up. They're going to start pushing this. Kiri should be back for the next fight. AI on the other side will be full strength as well. See if Blazing Magi can pass them on this momentum shift here. Fight should happen a little bit earlier than the lead switch. Sigma getting out here quite early. I hope he's going around the long way though. Gonna force out that javelin. Sigma getting very aggressive. Kiri gonna get low here. She does get hit by that helix. Sigma gonna be the first thing to fall. I don't know what Tracer's doing. Ramatra takes out 2. Soldier gonna take out 1. And okay. Ramatra gonna fall here. What in the world is going on? Anywho, long fight. Result in the spawns just eventually coming back for everyone here. Very odd fight coming out from both sides there, as Orisa just kind of sat there for a long time. Tracer looked like she got broken a little bit in that fight. She stopped moving. Happened to a couple bots actually. Huge ultimate combination coming out here for Blazing Magi, going to result in a very quick team fight victory. They're going to start pushing this thing back. And hopefully take the lead here, especially with this Ramatra. Probably going to fall a little late in this one. Should eventually fall here. He's quite tanky, but I think he will go down. Yeah, he will. So the push does continue here for Blazing Magi, and this is dangerous now if you're AI. So now the ultimates come online for Blazing Magi. They are going to continue pushing this thing. Hopefully going to secure another 3-2 here against another triple tank roster. Blazing Magi just keep getting the job done slowly but surely. Gonna be a quick team fight victory here for AI as they do pop this very impactful Ramatra ultimate. However, Orisa likes to stick around for a long time, so a little bit of a distraction there. They will all get forward spawns because of this, except for Tracer if she dies. She might die or she might chill. I'm not sure what she's doing. We'll see. Anyways, there will be another fight quite close here. Tracer gonna fight that soldier, poking him out. Moira and Tracer are actually fighting way back there. And looks like Blazing Magi are going to start to win this thing. Torbjorn able to remove that. Moira, Blazing Magi going to win this one. Continue pushing back here against AI, the Evil Empire. Defending champions of the Overbot League. However, they are not quite as good this season. And here we go. So Doom gets in pretty deep here. Soldier gonna trade out Cass for that Brig. Torb able to take out Doom as well though, and Tracer gonna fall. So trades largely favor. Oh, Orisa! Orisa gets 2 with the ult there, and that's gonna result in Blazing Magi continuing to push this thing. So once again, tanks just having a huge impact on Blazing Magi's success in this matchup, as the Warhorse does help get the job done here. Blazy Magi, the momentum just continues as 2 more members of AI are going to fall at the end there. And it's looking like Blazy Magi are going to be able to eventually secure a 3-2 and stop this reverse sweep. Was a bit of a nerve-wracker for me. However, map score not entirely important for me this season. It's going to mostly playing for that second seed. Logi Swords are an incredibly well-rounded team for dealing with most others. But eventually Blazy Magi going to be able to push through here. They will be taking the final map in the series, going up 3-2 and taking a series victory. Good job to my boys and my girls. We'll go to the next match after this. See ya.